Story 1. I say thank you. What a kind person you are. I graciously accept their compliment and give one right back to them. Story 2. After years of being picked on and fighting for everything, a compliment is hard to take. Now I say thank you, you are very kind. Lifting someone up with one kind word makes a big difference. Story 3. In Taiwan, when receiving a compliment, people often say, where, as a humble way of responding, implying handsome person, where, you couldn't possibly be talking about me, and the conversation continues. I like that. Story 4. I struggle with my self-image as a 27-year-old man. I have dentures and implants from unavoidable health problems. I have had a partial orchiectomy surgery and I struggle to lose weight in the gym even when I am counting calories and monitoring my carbohydrate and sugar intake. When someone says I am handsome, I tend not to trust it completely, unfortunately. Story 5. I have 3 responses. 1. Thank you. Thank you. Takes one to know one. I use this in response to women. Ah, thanks. Gestures to my face. My parents got it for me, but I grew it all by myself. The first feels weird but is correct. The second feels the best. The third is playful but feels the most natural. Story 6. Disbelief. My wife often tells me that I am the most handsome man on earth. I do not doubt that she thinks this because the more we love someone, the more attractive we find them. However, I am hardly anything special. Interestingly, I told her she was the most beautiful woman I had ever seen on our second date, which was not much time for this effect to influence me, but I was absolutely smitten, so I am sure it had some effect. I believe she is even more beautiful now, which I know is partly due to that effect, but there are other ways in which she is objectively more beautiful than when we met. Story 7. When I was young, I never believed it, but now when I see photos from when I was in my 20s and 30s, I realize I really was handsome. I just never saw it and always suspected the compliment was someone gaslighting me. Does that mean I am handsome now? Definitely not. I am old and it shows. But I wish I had had more confidence in my appearance when I was younger. Story 8. I thank them. A friend of mine who is very attractive was called high and mighty for daring to acknowledge that. Not that she thinks she is the most beautiful woman in the world, but for daring to acknowledge she feels she is not ugly. He missed out with that level of insecurity, whereas my partner and I acknowledge that we are both considered attractive, are very attracted to each other, and agree that we refuse to live in a world where it is considered some kind of social crime to be attractive and confident. Story 9. I say thank you and usually follow up with my own compliment to them, because I decided it feels bad when someone compliments you and you deny it. I hate that, so I just started saying thank you. It genuinely boosts your confidence when you accept compliments. Story 10. Do not compliment me verbally. I will know how you feel without words. Verbal compliments make me feel awkward, and I do not know how to respond other than with polite acceptance. I will feel very self-conscious for the rest of the day and will desperately want to go home. Story 11. I just say thank you to express that I feel truly grateful to someone who said such pleasant words to me. Story 12. I immediately think they are lying. They either have an ulterior motive or they feel sorry for me and want to do a good deed by saying something nice. Story 13. Bashfully look down at my feet with a smile, hands in my pockets, kick an invisible pebble on the ground, and say, ah shucks. Story 14. I am a man. I rarely, if ever, hear this. If I do, it is from someone who obviously wants something from me. I have accepted this, and my cynical outlook on life has been a great defense and protected me from becoming a victim. Story 15. The only time I received a compliment in public was when I was shopping at Ross. She approached me, told me I looked good, then asked where I work and whether I was looking for a new job. If it ever happens again, I would think they are trying to sell me something. Story 16. Awkwardly, I avoid eye contact and hesitantly say, thank you. I admit I lack self-confidence, and I hate when people compliment my appearance, especially at this stage of my life at 35 years old, where I am the heaviest I have ever been, with fat arms, a double chin, and still no butt. You can clearly see in my face how unhappy I was with life, my ex-partner, and my body. Story 17. I was in high school after the lesson when more than half of the class was socializing. One of the more extroverted girls turned around, looked right at me, and without a hint of sarcasm or self-awareness blurted out, "Oh my God, Andrew, you're really hot." The whole class turned and looked at me, and I immediately became self-conscious and felt my face get hot and red. That was maybe 25 years ago and is still one of the best moments of my life. Story 18. I smile and say thank you so much. Now, if it is a lady in her 80s or 90s, I will ask, "Are you looking for a date?" Story 19. Say thank you and appreciate the comment. Beauty fades, but it is a nice gesture between fellow humans when someone offers a compliment. I grew up with a parent who put themselves down for their appearance, but now that I am their age, I see they were good looking. You only live one life. Accepting a compliment and enjoying it is something to cherish. Story 20. I instinctively grab my wallet to make sure I am not being pickpocketed because men do not get told they are handsome and you are just trying to distract me. Story 21. Honestly, it depends on who it is from. I hate it from certain people but love it from others. My reaction is that I just get shy and say thank you. Story 22. My instinct is to find something to negate the compliment or downplay it. Now I try to compliment them in return. Story 23. Normally, I give back a compliment. If I do not find her or him attractive, I compliment something of theirs that I like. Story 24. Normally, compliment them back as a form of deflection because, like most people commenting here, I do not take compliments well. Story 25. I know I'm not unattractive, but whenever I'm complimented, I just demur and brush it off or redirect the conversation to something else. I am going gray, salt and pepper at 37, and a lot of people like it, but I really don't care either way. I don't like the attention. Most of the time, I let my hair get too long and let my facial hair get wild because I hate shaving. For years, I buzzed my own hair with a number 2 guard because I am cheap like that. I tend to only clean up before family get-togethers and important work days. But it is for them, not for me, and that is usually when I am told I look good or whatever. Story 26. Neutral, bored. It feels tedious to go through the whole process of graciously accepting the compliment and returning it. Story 27. I do not think people are serious when I receive compliments, but I have also never had someone mention my appearance in a positive way. Story 28. I usually smile awkwardly and say thank you, still not fully used to compliments, but it does feel nice. Story 29. Deflect the comment. Give excuses, for example, "You have nice long hair." I respond, "Oh no, my sister usually cuts it, but she hasn't been able to because she's on holiday." And then I talk about my sister being on holiday. I feel like when people give compliments, they are lying to me. Maybe if I believed the compliment was true, I would accept it better. But usually, I am suspicious that they say such nice things with the goal of getting something from me or that they are lying to be polite. Story 30. If a girl thanks, "You are so pretty too." A guy thanks, you might wonder why the difference. I have had enough of guys thinking that me returning a compliment means I desire them and would not take no for an answer. I try not to give wrong signals while also staying polite, as I am a polite person. Story 31. Overweight is generally defined as a body mass index between 25 and 29.9, while obesity is a body mass index of 30 or higher. Body mass index is a calculation using weight and height to estimate body fat. Here is a more detailed breakdown. Overweight. A body mass index between 25 and 29.9 is considered overweight. This indicates a higher weight than what is considered healthy for a given height. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention considers being overweight a risk factor for obesity. Obesity. A body mass index of 30 or higher is classified as obese. Obesity is a medical condition characterized by excessive body fat accumulation. Obesity is further categorized into Class 1, Class 2, and Class 3, also known as severe obesity, based on the severity of the body mass index. Key differences. Body mass index range. The most significant difference lies in the body mass index range, with obesity representing a higher degree of excess weight. Health risks. While both conditions can increase health risks, obesity is associated with a greater likelihood of developing various health problems, including heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and certain cancers. Medical condition: obesity is often considered a disease, while being overweight is more of a risk factor. In summary, overweight is a less severe condition than obesity, with a body mass index between 25 and 29.9, while obesity is defined as a body mass index of 30 or higher. Both conditions can increase health risks, but obesity carries a greater risk of developing serious health problems. Story 32. I get awkward and make a joke. It does not happen very often, to be fair. However, my wife might give me a compliment if I put on a shirt and shoes. Story 33. I am suspicious and tell them, please do not look at me, and walk away. Compliments make me sad because I never know if they are true or not, or if they want something. Story 34. Say no and awkwardly walk away. I have no idea why, but when I am surprised by a compliment, this is my first response. Then I internally panic for the rest of the day. Story 35. Thanks. The first time is fine. If it continues, I become less friendly quickly. I am a woman, and I am not trying to be arrogant, but I know I am attractive. I hear it often from my husband and others. I get a lot of admiring looks from men when they first meet me. It's fine until it becomes uncomfortable. I do not have the luxury of being nice about it because I do not know the intentions of someone who will not stop. Story 36. I'm mostly suspicious. When it's from my man, I love it. Otherwise, I wonder what the person who says this has in mind. Story 37. I usually feel really flattered but also get flustered when receiving compliments, even if I try to stay cool. My mother-in-law told me I looked elegant the other night at family dinner, and I was scrambling for several minutes. My close friend told me I'm really pretty, and I've been hiding in a pillow whenever I randomly remember. My fiancée can compliment me without a big reaction, but I'll usually hide in her shoulder or do a little dance anyway. I'm learning to handle it coming from her because she compliments me so often that I would probably spontaneously combust otherwise. Story 38. I will feel awkward. I will smile with my awkward face. My crush said this to me, and I do not know how to react. Story 39. I instantly forget how to act, do an awkward laugh, and say something weird like, you too, even if they did not ask. Social skills? Never met her. Story 40. I say, thank you, with a newly induced smile and go about my day a little happier than before. I also like to give compliments freely. We could all use a little more sunshine in our days. Story 41. I put my hands in my phone and wallet pockets. I know I am being distracted, and most likely they will try to steal from me. Story 42. If it ever happens, I will come back and let you know. I do remember one time a woman told me the shirt I was wearing complimented my eyes. I still own the shirt. That was more than 20 years ago, and it has not fit me for probably 18 of those years, but I will never forget the one compliment I ever got. Story 43. It honestly makes my whole day, even if I pretend to brush it off. I hold on to those words much longer than people realize. Story 44. I say thank you, and of course my ego kind of likes that, but my rational, logical self does not. I grew up unattractive and later improved my appearance. I know what genuine kindness feels like. People overvalue looks, really. They admire beauty, and I absolutely dislike it. Give me compliments about how well I did something or how I made you feel good. Tell me the food I cook is delicious. These are factors I can actually control. It would be different if someone mentioned that my hair is shinier than usual. But plainly saying, oh, you have beautiful eyes, is just luck. Nothing I did. So how can this be a genuine compliment to me when I did nothing to achieve that? Story 45. I thank them but do not believe them at all. They are either trying to get something from me or trying to make a fool of me. Story 46. Just take the compliment and show gratitude. Those expecting reciprocation did not give you a genuine compliment. Those who gave a genuine compliment do not care that they did not get anything back. Simple. Reciprocate only if you wish. Story 47. I have had enough people call me beautiful just to get something from me or end up breaking my heart right afterward. So, it is hard for me to trust it when someone says it to me. Fool me once. Story 48. I genuinely thank them and feel good for a few days. I might revisit the memory for a mood boost from time to time for years as well. Story 49. Compliments make me feel uncomfortable, so I usually just say thanks and know in my mind that it is just them being kind. Story 50. I will say thank you and keep on going. Unless you look like an absolute creep, then I will ignore you. Pretty privilege, and I hate it some days. Story 51. I genuinely never know how to react. I often say thank you and look away or try to change the subject. I had a tipsy friend on her birthday telling me how handsome I was once. When I said thank you, she said, "I'm serious, really handsome." The only thing I could think to do was to say to her, "I'm sorry, I really don't take compliments well, and just kind of feel awkward right now." Story 52. The comments here clearly show how jaded human beings are in looking for the negative. I have learned that if a random stranger gives a compliment, it is usually simple and well-intended. I have become good at accepting compliments without being apologetic or arguing with the person because I do not believe them. It is a huge boost to my confidence when that happens on any given day, and I smile and say thank you. Story 53. Last time that happened, I was 13 at the pool, and it was a woman over 50 years old who said it in a sexual way, not in a charming or polite way. It was probably still the nicest thing anyone has ever said to me. Story 54. Look behind me to see who they are actually talking to. I was once told to move out of the way so a handsome man could be pointed out. Story 55. The only people who say that to me are scammers. But if it's not a scam, I just say thank you. I've been single for about 6 years, so I would probably ask if they are single and want to get coffee or food. Story 56. I do not know. I would probably not believe them or think they are trying to manipulate me. Nobody thinks I am handsome. I am unattractive. Story 57. For some reason, I don't accept the compliment and just can't believe they actually think that. Maybe we all need to work on our self-esteem. Story 58. It is not something that holds great value to me, so I will say thank you, but it makes me uncomfortable. My face is the least important part of who I am. I am also a raging nuisance. Story 59. I don't believe them. It's not that I see myself as ugly, not at all. I really love how I look, but I think I am a very normal-looking person. So it feels strange or not right for me to believe it, especially since I hear it a lot from my friends, colleagues, family, and strangers. Story 60. Given that most of these compliments have come from aunts or great-aunts, I do not take them seriously. I figure that most people middle-aged or younger do not share this view. Story 61. Average guy here. This has never happened to me. I once got called goofy looking in high school, and that has stuck with me for over 30 years. I do not expect that anyone will ever call me handsome, so this is a pointless question. Story 62. I feign modesty, but I know they are right. Kidding. It does not happen very often anyway. But it makes me uncomfortable because I just do not see it. Story 63. I blush, I stumble over my words, and I usually answer with the least intelligent response. I bet they do not find me beautiful after that anymore. Story 64. A lot of people call me handsome, and I wonder why. I am even scared to see myself in the mirror. Even children and children with special needs call me handsome and like me. I think some of them feel pity for me and have low standards. Until today, I feel lonely because nobody approaches me. I do not care about people. I can make myself happy. So, I feel like they are just lying. Story 65. I say, "You are very sweet. Thank you." It is a superficial response to a superficial comment. I may be beautiful on the outside, but they do not know if I am a terrible person on the inside. Story 66. Thanks. I don't even work out. It's the same thing I say when someone compliments my kids or my dogs. It helps to have something kind of funny to say in response. It helps me get through feeling awkward, at least. Story 67. I am in my 60s. A couple of weeks ago, a woman my age approached me in a parking lot while I was putting groceries in my truck. She complimented my truck. So I said thanks and immediately started talking about some of its cool features. Eventually, she interrupted me to say, "Honestly, I didn't come over here to talk about your truck. I think you are very handsome, and I love your thick white hair. My husband died 2 years ago. He was bald as a cue ball." Then she ran her hand through my hair. I was pretty stunned. I said, "Oh, sorry for your loss. Thanks." My wife likes my hair too. Random women touching my hair has been happening since I was a teenager. I am generally a shy guy, which makes me uncomfortable when it happens. Story 68. Look to see if they were actually talking to someone behind me. My second reaction is to immediately wonder what they want. Story 69. I let the warm glow wash over me and try to stay calm as I smile. It is rare, so you have to savor it. Story 70. I will let you know when they say it. But do not hold your breath, as I have a headache like a half-sucked mango. Story 71. No one has ever said that to me. I wished years ago that somebody would. These days, it does not matter anymore since I am quite a bit older. My sister, on the other hand, is beautiful and still gets plenty of attention. I have watched from the sidelines all these years. It really shows how attractive people receive more attention and kindness. Story 72. Knee-jerk reaction is to wonder if they are being serious, but I force myself to start just taking the compliment and trying not to question it. Outside of that, it is a nice feeling getting complimented, probably more so because it does not happen much. Story 73. Same advice I received from a choir teacher years ago. He said after a performance you will receive compliments, whether deserved or not. The correct response is a simple thank you. Nothing more. If you agree with them, you sound arrogant. If you disagree, you make them look foolish. Just smile and say thank you. Story 74. Other than my wife, whose eyesight is failing, I am told that I am handsome maybe once every 5 years. I politely say, "Thank you." Then I immediately move on to another topic. Story 75. Thank them, but do not believe it. Edit. Most people who say this are men. I am a man, but I am not homosexual. I just stand awkwardly as they give that weird stare. Story 76. I'm 63, and this happened just 2 weeks ago. A teenage salesgirl came up to me in a clothing store where I was shopping with my daughter. I laughed joyfully and said, "Oh, honey, can I hug you? You've made this old lady's day." My daughter chimed in while pointing at me. She used to do it. She'll take any chance to hug someone. When I was young, compliments embarrassed me greatly, although I was generous in giving them. Now that I'm older, I see it as an opportunity to connect with other women because it is usually women giving compliments. Story 77. Thank you. What else are you going to say? I mean, sometimes I compliment them back if it is genuine. A couple of weeks ago, a woman at the beach told me and my son that we are beautiful, and I said, "Thank you, so are you," because she really was. Story 78. It embarrasses me, and I say no, I am not. I think it's because my mother would only say I don't have ugly children. I wish people would not say it to me because I don't think I am. My fiancé says it, and I say no, I am not. Story 79. This happens at work with random people to me. I just wave them off, say something nice, then move on. Story 80. This thread provides insight into the psychology of different people. Some have shy or awkward reactions, some assume others want something, some assume the person is lying, and others accept the compliment with joy. As for me, a woman recently complimented me on my glasses, and it made me really happy. Story 81. I completely believe they are lying or just want something. I have been called ugly my whole life, even by my mother. Girls at school used to compliment me and then laugh to each other while whispering. So I truly do not believe it. Not just for looks, I do not like compliments in general. My husband thinks I am beautiful, but I think there is something wrong with him. Story 82. Thank you. Please stop touching my tattoos. For some reason, people really like feeling my sleeve. Story 83. Not really a fan because my self-image does not see beauty in me. I actually really like being called pretty. Touches me deeply. Story 84. It is a Kodak moment knowing that the wind can turn in the blink of an eye and you go from hero to zero. Keep those times alive and be happy forever. Story 85. I am upset because I know they are lying to me as they feel sorry for me being that hideous. I do thank them, but receiving compliments has always made me feel uneasy. Story 86. I have learned to be gracious and thank them for their kind words. I always make a point to say how kind they are to say so. If someone is brave enough to compliment me, I feel that it is important to acknowledge them. Story 87. Turn around and go home, wash my face, change into my pajamas, cover myself with a blanket, eat an entire bag of chips, and argue with myself about whether the compliment was genuine. Story 88. I am a 38-year-old man and not an attractive one by any means. If it ever happens, I will let you know my reaction. Story 89. Uncomfortable. First thought is this a pity compliment? But I am old now, and when I look back at photos of myself, I realize I am pretty. For some reason, the older I get, the more beautiful people appear to me. It is not because they are younger, but because I have learned there is so much more to a person than their physical appearance. Story 90. It depends on who it is from. If it is from someone I do not know well, it is usually a polite thank you and an internal creep alert. If it is from family or friends, it is a heartfelt thank you. If it is from my boyfriend, who tells me I am beautiful all the time, my heart melts and I am very happy, even though he tells me so often. Story 91. I think they say it as a joke, and when I manage to see myself in a reflection of something, I say to myself, how? Story 92. My fiancée has beautiful eyes and a very sweet smile. Every time I compliment her on these, she does not say anything and simply smiles slightly. I am confused. What kind of acknowledgement is this? It makes me feel disappointed, and I start thinking about not complimenting her again. Story 93. I have learned the importance of just accepting compliments instead of insisting the complimenting party is kind but mistaken. I say something like, "Ah, thank you," and give a compliment back. Truthfully, it does not always absorb, and I often feel unworthy of the praise, sometimes guilty for even receiving it. But that is my baggage, so a thank you works well. Story 94. Laughing out loud. Get your eyes checked. The doctor told me I look like I am in my 40s. I am past 60. He is not a very good doctor if he cannot figure that out. Story 95. Act appreciative and give them a compliment because I know they mean well. They do not mean it to make me feel better because I am a very plain-looking person. Story 96. Lightly enthusiastic thank you, while I silently wind up inside, waiting for signs of excessive affection next. Story 97. No one has ever said that to me, so if someone did call me beautiful or handsome, I'm calling bullshit and my defensive walls are going up. Story 98. I have heard it many times. I am tired of people stating the obvious. You are not going to impress me by telling me something I have been hearing for years. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.